Most traders know that a trading plan is critical to your success. My guest today is Javier Paz to talk about why that is and what it should include. Javier, so what is it about a trading plan that is so important to set a trader on the route to success?
Well, I've heard a lot about the uses of trading plans, and never in a way that was, it's like a nice thing to have. In my book, it's a must-have. It's something that it needs to be detailed enough that it keeps you honest, and it doesn't keep you in a straitjacket because you customize it to your satisfaction, but it is a living document.
All right, so what is in my trading plan? What kind of things am I writing down in this to make sure that I'm disciplined?
Okay, so in my trading plan, as I mentioned it in my book, is I start with describing the strategy that I'm trading in fairly great detail. When do I place a trade? What do I look for? When do I get out? What are the conditions for getting in or not? And then I look at the trade size, and I look at the currencies that I'm going to trade, or the instrument. I look at market conditions and a certain routine. In the event, let's say something big has happened in Europe, a big announcement related to interest rates, and you're wondering, okay, what sort of effect this is going to have on my strategy, on my currency, or my instrument. So you kind of have to respect market conditions, and the trading plan should reflect that. There's other things like trader psychology. So rules that you can put in there to say, if I have done this, or this has happened to me, I will not trade, or I will trade half the normal size. And there's all sorts of important rules and conditions that you can build into this document that could be maybe 5 to 6 pages, and be a reflection of your values and your understanding of trading markets.
And I would imagine that it's something that changes all the time. You're updating it always, you're checking to see if it's still in line with your risk tolerance, that sort of thing. Is it something you're always updating?
Not always, but I would say there is an element of update that happens. I'd say I would recommend about every month, where you are verifying that the assumptions built into the trading plan and your performance. One of the things you want to write down is keeping a journal as much as possible of your performance, and then be able to see, okay, your performance on one hand and the trading plan on the other, and try to understand what's going on here, and again, keep yourself honest in terms of how you're doing.
Is it a checklist as well that I should be checking off these things before every single trade? Have I met this criteria? Have I met this criteria? And if it doesn't meet that, you don't trade. Is that
That's right.
Something you could do?
Definitely so. I go through that. The trading plan incorporates my own trading conditions, my routine, and there's days when I say, I'm not trading today. The strategy that I'm using, the conditions are not set. I will not trade. One of the most important things as a trader is knowing when to walk away from the conditions, and not assume that there's always an opportunity to be traded. Because when you assume that, you make mistakes.
Not trading is just as important as trading.
That's right.
Javier, thanks for your time.
You bet.
You're watching the MoneyShow.com video network.